Thank you for joining us for the Clear Your Fear mini course. This is Amanda Wild, founder of Self Searchers. If you've been struggling at all with anxiety or worry or fear, you're truly going to love this mini course. And if you haven't checked it out already, be sure to download your bonus Clear Your Fear formula PDF so that you can apply what you're going to learn in the mini course to your own life. Now, you can use the Clear Your Fear formula as a daily practice to help you begin the day with courage and confidence. Now, before you dive into the Clear Your Fear formula workbook, I want to share something with you. I want to expose a dirty little secret when it comes to fear. Have you ever seen posts like this on Facebook and Instagram? Yeah, me too. They're all over, right? So many people will tell you that you just need to man up or woman up and conquer your fears. But I'm not really one of those people. That feels like running head first into a brick wall, and I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound good, especially doing it over and over and over again. So let me tell you why we have a radically different approach here at Self Searchers. First, the Face Your Fears approach is counterproductive. You can try to use willpower all day long to muster up enough confidence and courage to do the thing that you want to do or to overcome the obstacle that's in your way. But most of us have limited reserves of willpower. The only thing that really works to get lasting transformation is to understand why you have fear in the first place and to befriend that fear, to invite it in, wonder about what it wants for you. Because here's a writer downer for you. There's a vitally important reason you're filled with worry, fear, and anxiety. So instead of trying to muscle your way through that, wouldn't you prefer to get curious and wonder about what that fear wants for you, and then create more empowering strategies to meet that need? It's like having an easy button, and why wouldn't you want that? It stops the shame and the resistance. It changes the entire game. Instead of trying to amputate your fears, which is not even possible because fear is a necessary emotion, instead you stop fighting with yourself and you embrace that fear. You love it up. Just like you'd love up a good friend who was freaking out because she presented this big proposal to her boss and she doesn't know if her boss is going to love it or leave it, right? Now, I'm sure that this may sound crazy to some of you, and it is a radically new approach. It's a totally different way of looking at and approaching your fear because we're so inundated with this idea of pushing our way through life, pushing our way through the fear. But if you continue to try to woman up and face your fears and wipe your tears, as the quotes suggest you do, you might experience some change, but this change is often what I like to call a fake through. Have you ever had one of those? You're trying really hard to move forward in spite of your fears, and it seems like it's working, but then boom, you end up right back in the same place with nothing really to show for your efforts. Like, maybe you want to find the love of your life, but you're terrified at the thought of going on a bunch of dates. Dating sounds like a nightmare, and with the new shows that have come out, like First Dates on NBC, which I secretly adore, don't tell anyone, but that can make it feel like dating is almost a misery-making experience. So if you subscribe to the Conquer Your Fears approach, you're going to sign up for this online dating service and maybe you start hitting the town. You go on a few dates and you discover like, oh, okay, this isn't too bad, I can hang. But then you get that whopper of a date, right? They're super inappropriate, they're really disrespectful, and you're like, that's it. I'm done. I'm never going on another date. See how bad that was? You just experienced a fake through. You faced your fears, and what did you get? A whopper of a date ending in a complete failure. You're right back in the same place you were before, not wanting to go on any dates. You're afraid to go on more dates. You're afraid you're never going to find true love. And fake throughs happen in all kinds of other ways too. When you chase your dreams, but you don't make any progress. When you want to level up your life, but you keep finding yourself back in the same place. Want to know why this happens? Okay, I'm going to tell you in just a minute, but I really want you to feel into this for a moment. Just imagine if you never had to wrestle with debilitating thoughts of fear and worry and judgment. What if you weren't plagued with anxiety and self-doubt? What if you had a good way to release your fear forever? Oh my gosh, I mean, you could start going after exactly what you want in life. You could stop caring about what other people think so much. You could let go of thoughts, patterns, even maybe jobs and relationships that are no longer serving you. You could really step into your own brilliance. And the thing is, this topic is so near and dear to my heart because I meet so many incredible men and women. They have amazing talents, amazing gifts, so much to offer the world, but they're really afraid of putting themselves out there. And they're afraid of expressing their truth because they worry about what will everybody else think. They've tried everything they can think of, including just trying to push through their fears. And it's not making a difference in their life. They continue to worry. They continue to worry about, will people like me? You know, if I show up as myself. They hold on to friendships and relationships long after you've received that intuitive hit that like, it's time to move on. So why is this? Because people are afraid something bad will happen to them if they show up as themselves, if they're true to their own heart. And let's be real, no one likes to be disappointed, to go through a breakup, to miss out on a new promotion or a job opportunity because they're too afraid of rejection. But the reality is that exposing ourselves to the possibility of pain, it's a real bummer. And I don't know anyone who's raising their hand saying, pick me, I want to be hurt. I want to feel afraid. I want to hold myself back, right? I mean, it feels so lonely sometimes when we're dealing with fear and anxiety and worry, but the reality is that we're not alone. Everyone has fears. The difference between those who are paralyzed by their fears or those that are confident in themselves is how skilled you are at getting to the root cause of fear. So, why do you experience fake throughs? Why doesn't conquering your fears and pushing your way through it work? Because you haven't yet discovered the reason for your fear. Remember, there's a vitally important reason you're experiencing fear and anxiety and worry in the first place. I want you to think about the reason for your fear like a metal pole, okay? Now, imagine you've got a giant rubber band around you and it's also attached to the metal pole. As you get closer and closer to what you want, you're limited by your fear. You experience a greater and greater force going in the opposite direction that's holding you back. If you consider this in the context of our dating scenario, perhaps you're afraid that there are no good men left. Perhaps you believe it's your destiny to end up a 90-year-old cat lady. Perhaps you're afraid that you're going to sabotage the next relationship like you did the last one. You see, your beliefs about love are the metal pole. The tension that you feel as you move closer to what you want is the fear that you feel. Your beliefs are going to hold you back until you start to get clear about the vitally important reasons why you've created these beliefs in the first place, why this fear is showing up in your life. This is why we created the Lifesaver system, and you're going to experience a taste of that as part of the Clear Your Fear formula. And we take this work so much deeper in our Fear to Freedom course as well, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. So the idea here is that you can get out of this conundrum. You can finally make more empowering choices so you can release the fear and find the freedom that you ultimately deserve. In our Lifesaver model, SAVER is an acronym for the 5-step system you can use to move beyond the negative self-talk, the worry, and the anxiety, and to really live a fully expressed life, because that's what being a self-searcher is all about. So the S in SAVER stands for step back and reflect, which is really all about discovering how to notice when fear starts running the show, when it's taken over. So you're going to discover a practice in your Clear Your Fear formula that'll help you start to step back from your fears and your worries. You're going to create a daily fear journal. You're going to start writing down just everything that your inner critic says to you. Just get it out on paper. You're going to start with things like, I'm afraid, ... or I'm frustrated, I feel. As you get those fears down on paper, you're going to be able to look at them with fresh eyes and gain more perspective. You're also going to be bringing your subconscious thoughts into your conscious awareness so that you're more aware of exactly what types of things you're saying to yourself, because this awareness can really begin to change your thoughts. Just realizing like, oh my gosh, what am I saying to myself? Then step 2 is appreciate the fear. Appreciate the intention behind the fear. It's where you get curious about those beliefs, about that metal pole that's been holding you back for so long. So in your Clear Your Fear formula PDF, you're going to start to get curious about what's underneath your fear. When did those fears first show up? We want to wonder about what is fear trying to tell you. We also cover this concept in much more detail in Fear to Freedom if you're feeling like, how can I possibly appreciate anything about my fear? Because appreciating the intention behind your fear is one of those things that takes a bit of time to get used to because we're just so accustomed to pushing our fear aside. So I invite you to just give it a chance, see what comes to mind. It can be really enlightening. Then in step 3, the V in our Lifesaver model, you vanquish, validate, and visualize. In our Fear to Freedom course, you'll discover a whole bunch of ways to release the fears and the worries. And then you explore whether or not the fear is real. And from a new vantage point, you open up a whole bunch of options that wouldn't have been available to you before, so that you can actually begin to choose more empowering beliefs. But what I wanted to do today was share with you the most powerful way to vanquish your fear, to get rid of it. And I'm going to do that as part of the Clear Your Fear formula so that you have access to that. And this most powerful thing you can do is to look at, what are we making fear mean about us? We so often get stuck and feel paralyzed because we're creating these stories about how one situation must mean that we're all of these things. So for example, if you know you need to follow your heart, but you're afraid of what everyone else will think, you can ask yourself, what am I making this mean about me? You might be saying or thinking, if I follow my heart and it doesn't work out, I'll be a failure. I will cause my friends and family a great deal of suffering, and I'm a bad person if I put them through that. I haven't actually proven that I can be successful on my own. So in your workbook, you're going to be looking at this potent question to help you slow down the self-destructive train that can come rolling down the tracks when you're feeling worried or fear or anxiety or you're filled with self-doubt. So you just want to be asking yourself, what am I making this mean about me? You'll find that it really is so enlightening. Then in the next step, you're actually going to begin to transform these thoughts. So step 4 in our Lifesaver model is all about evidence, and it's the E in our acronym. You're going to look for evidence to support your new belief. So you mine your past for all the ways that you've been courageous, and you become a detective. You start looking for all the ways that your new, more empowering beliefs are showing up and they're unfolding and coming true in your life. This is such a big step, and nearly everyone misses it. They just skip over it for some reason. We don't think to be on the lookout for all the ways that the universe is conspiring in our favor. But it makes a radical difference because it can give you the boost to keep going. It can tell you that you're on the right track. So let's see how this plays out in the Clear Your Fear formula. Now that you've written down what you're making your fears mean about you, right? That I'm a bad person, I'm a failure. You want to ask yourself, is this really true? And what evidence do I have? So for each story that you come up with, just ask those 2 questions. How are you taking the situation personally? So if you said, I'll be a failure in step 3, then this is your chance to go like, really? Am I really a failure? And what evidence do I have to support that? Now, here's the thing. In this step, it's important to suspend your inner critic for a moment and access your higher self, because we want to have access to the part of you that's like your little cheerleader. Because this exercise isn't meant to be another way for you to beat yourself up or to take your anxiety up 3 notches. So just allow yourself to consider the possibilities. Have you really failed in the past? Or did you learn something new along the way? Now, see, the idea here is to continue to question those thoughts that are running in your head, to take a step back and to look at the situation from an entirely different perspective that you might not have considered before. You can even imagine that you're going to answer just like your best friend would, because this might help you realize all the ways in which you've been bold and courageous. Okay, on to step 5. Now it's finally time for you to move into action from this new empowered place. And this is really good stuff. So instead of facing your fears, you have now befriended your fears. You're really listening to what they want. And it's time to take action. It's time to move closer to your goals, to choose a more empowering story to tell yourself. And what I really love about this step in the Fear to Freedom course is that we talk about the objections that you normally run into when you start trying to take action towards something that you want. Because we all have those moments when we get stopped in our tracks, when we just have a hard time doing what it is that we know needs to be done. And we've all felt that. It's understandable. So if you decide to take this work deeper with us, you're going to discover even more tools and insights to help you move into action and ultimately stay in action, so you experience lasting transformation. Now, let's talk about how you can apply this today. How can you apply it in your life? So you're going to be getting clear on the one thing, I don't care how small it is, that you can do to move you closer to your desires. Because that's part of the Clear Your Fear formula. We need a closed loop system. Taking action, even little small steps in the direction that you want to go, is going to create unstoppable momentum. Now, the other thing I do is identify a buy when. I'm a productivity freak by nature, and maybe just being a firstborn, being a Virgo, I love the buy when question. So choose one thing that you can do within the next 5 days. We want to build up that momentum, so start with something small that's going to help you to connect to that feeling of courage and success and give you more confidence to keep going. Because that's what we want for you. We want you to clear your fear. We want you to find your freedom. And ultimately, that's why I created Fear to Freedom. I wanted to be able to give you tons more ways to really implement this lifesaver system in your own life. And this system is a direct result of years of personal study with some of the top personal development mentors and years of really digging through the trenches to figure out what really works. And it does really work. You know, Katie Barteld, she said, I'm starting to realize what makes this process so amazing is that you almost don't even realize the changes are happening because they happen so deep down at a basic level. She said, I've been doing the exercises, digging deep and having a lot of realizations about myself. And the reality is we have dozens of other women who are saying the entire experience is transformative, it's healing and empowering. Now, you might be thinking, I bet any system that can give me all of that would cost a small fortune. And in all honesty, it really should. I mean, I included an exercise in lesson 3 alone that's easily worth $200. Hang tight, and I'm going to share with you how much it costs in just a second. But I want you to take a moment to feel into this. By simply following the Fear to Freedom system, you could go from feeling stuck and stagnant to feeling relieved and grateful and free and ready to go for that big promotion, ready to make a career change, ready to ask out that hottie you've got your eye on, whatever it is for you that you've been too scared to actually do. Now, those are just some examples. The lifesaver model that we teach in Fear to Freedom in much greater detail will work with any type of fear or anxiety that's plaguing you, right? You're going to start to make more empowering choices each and every day without even having to think about it. That's what makes the course so amazing. Now, Fear to Freedom could easily be sold for $249. I mean, wouldn't you agree that discovering the secrets to releasing your fear with ease would easily be worth $300 or even $500? But don't worry, you're not going to pay anywhere near that price today. But I invite you to take a look inside our Fear to Freedom course and see why everyone's calling it their go-to resource. In Lesson 2, we discover how curiosity and acceptance are the antidotes to fear. So let me explain what that means. Curiosity, by definition, means a strong desire to know something. When you have a strong desire to know something, you approach it from a place of openness and compassion. You're able to dig in, to problem solve without getting triggered and really emotional by the situation, without feeling afraid, without becoming attached to the outcome. You become an observer of the situation. And this is a writer downer for you. Observers are not emotionally engaged. There is no fear. They're curious and compassionate. And that's the magic of Fear to Freedom. You'll discover how easy it actually is to welcome your fear and then use it to your advantage to really propel you to the next level in your life. So if you're looking for the fastest way to let go of your fear, then you've probably already figured out Fear to Freedom is your opportunity to step into your next big evolution, to really love yourself again. Now, the price of Fear to Freedom sold by itself is normally $197. However, I've got a crazy special offer for you when you take action right now. So you won't be paying $197, and you won't just be getting Fear to Freedom today. Just for sticking with me, I'd like to give you 4 more bonuses when you register right now. You'll get our bonus workbook filled with exercises that you can use to take this work even deeper and to create massive breakthroughs. The questions in the workbook are the types of questions that I ask my high-end one-on-one clients who are paying thousands of dollars for my support. You're also going to get a collection of our courage, confidence, and acceptance meditations, which are amazing. And you can listen to them on the way to work or before a big meeting or before a big date for that matter. And as another bonus, you're going to get the transcripts for the videos and the audio files so that you can listen to the entire course on the go so that you have plenty of time to complete it. And finally, you're going to get a bonus Courage Booster video where you'll discover a key element required to finally step into your most courageous and confident self. These 4 bonuses are normally valued at $125, and they're yours free today. Fear to Freedom has a retail price of $197, and that's excluding the bonuses. When you add in the bonuses, the entire system is valued at over $300. Yet, that's not the price I have for you today because I want you to find your freedom again. I want you to have peace of mind so that you can wake up feeling confident in yourself. I want you to love yourself again. And I know that's what you desire for yourself. So this means you won't pay $300 today. Your total investment, including everything you see on the screen, is only $37. And the best part is this. You're covered by our Self-Searchers guarantee, so there really is no way you can lose. If you honestly feel like we've wasted your time or you weren't able to find any value, send us an email or call us up and we'll gladly refund you. No questions asked, no hard feelings. So I want you to look below this video right now and click on the button that says, yes, I want Fear to Freedom, and lock in your special rate today. And when you click the yes, I want Fear to Freedom button, here's what's gonna happen. First, you'll be taken to our 100% secure checkout page, which looks like this. Now, once you've completed your transaction, we're gonna take you to the members portal where you can download the entire program and you can get started right away. Remember, it is possible for you to stop worrying about what everyone else thinks. It's possible for you to find joy and happiness, no matter how long you've been dealing with your fears and your worries. So I invite you to consider the responsibility that you have to yourself to find peace and freedom. And I invite you to enroll in Fear to Freedom today. After all, your future self is completely dependent upon you. Your decisions now will determine what kind of life your future self can enjoy. Simply by choosing to take action today and following the Lifesaver system that you're gonna master in Fear to Freedom, your life will start to feel so much more expansive and liberating and free. I mean, how will it feel when you stop being so hard on yourself and you finally believe in yourself? You know, there's just so much freedom and expansion and abundance in that place. So to do all that I can to help, I've lowered the price of Fear to Freedom for you by 81% just so that you can get in today. But eventually I'm gonna have to increase the price back to retail where it deserves to be. So take advantage of this limited time offer while you still can. Click the rectangular shaped "Yes, I want Fear to Freedom" button below, and let's get you started today.